So today on Project Shop we have some massive copper transformers. Now these here are like the cream of the crop, 1500 watt HID transformers. Now I'm not sure how many I got, maybe like 5 or 6 of them, but I got a bunch of high pressure sodium 1000 watt transformers back there. Now if you see this little gap, it kind of zigzags through here. I've separated the copper transformers from the aluminum ones. Now, I didn't do it on the table. I literally, when I buy these, I check them, every single one of them. I won't, you know, you can't be buying aluminum transformers for copper transformer prices. That's just dumb. When I buy them, I always have 2 drums. I throw, that's the clip-ins. I throw ballast and aluminum transformers in the same bin. I buy them together, and then I buy the transformers, the double copper ones, at a separate, much higher price. Literally almost 3 times as much. Well, actually over 3 times as much. But what we have here is pretty much the biggest HID transformer you can get. Now, I do believe there's like a 2000 watter out there, and I might have had one time, but in 13 or 14 years I've only come across like maybe one of them, and even before LEDs, when I did a ton of these transformers, 1500 watt transformers were not common because they're just a really good transformer. They're always, I think maybe one time I've come across a half aluminum, half copper one, but 99.9% of the time they're going to be double copper, and very rarely do you come across them. I used to get those 1000 watters literally by the 55 gallon drum full of them. Okay, this table, which is 4 foot wide, and it may look like a lot of transformers on here, but there's really not. I used to stack these big boys to the top of here, all the way back. Mainly, I'd say 75% of them were 1000 watt transformers, and then a mixture of the 400s and the 175s and whatever. Now it seems like I'm getting a lot more of these, because all the big ones, all the big giant lights in the parking lots, they've already changed them to LEDs. Okay, I don't know how long that GoPro's gonna last, but here we go. Now sometimes this machine actually has a hard time cracking these. I might have to hit them with the hammer. Did not like that. Now, these things always have this plate welded on, so it's actually an extra step. I gotta bend that down so I can run it through the second press. But we'll run that over on secondary. What I'm gonna do is to give that press a little help. Gonna tap on these a little bit. We're running way behind. Usually it takes about 10 transformers to get a good rhythm. Yeah, that was much better. Things are a little work. I think I should probably slide them over. We're a little, yeah. watt off there. Oh, we're burning time, man. We're way behind. Almost be better cracking these by hand. Why it always likes to break the right side. Alright, we're at 5 minutes. Let's see how these 1,000 watters go. Oh! Wow. I am noticing that this thing is bending. Way more than it normally does. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Well, it's been a long time since we broke one of those. plastic ones, they're even going to be tough on the other press. They always have been. We got a whole gang of them, man. Yeah, these things are extra tough, man. They don't want to give up the copper. Something broke the machine. Just loosen them up a little bit. Bringing back a lot of old memories. This machine is why it had so many crazy looking welds and patches. It always breaks in the middle of the night. Like either in the middle or during a run. And today I don't have labor, but a lot of times I'd have labor here and I would just do what I needed to do to get the machine running as fast as possible. Oh! This is horrible. Horrible, I tell you. Probably some of my slowest production ever. We're just going to keep moving until we can't move no more. they're delaminating.
We're at 15 minutes, man. We're way behind. I think we're still doing more for the transformer a minute, though. See if we can't step it up. Getting kind of dangerous. At least we got a safety shield. Okay, so we're way behind schedule. I literally lost a bolt and I snapped this thing. So this thing was all wonky. We broke this thing in 2 spots. It did not like those 1500 watt transformers, obviously. Now let's see how this machine likes them. I've always known, let's take these ear things off. I've always known that the ones with the plastic, they are always tough no matter what size you have. So we're at 35 minutes. We're so far behind. We broke the machine. We're running at like quarter speed. But we still might make the little lunch money. You know what I think is happening here? I think the machines are mad that I don't use them that much no more. Battery saver off. Yeah, we're way behind here. See if we can't pick it up a little bit here. This takes me an hour. I'm gonna be embarrassed. Oh, see? Now these. These things are always a pain. I think my prep guy used to just cut them off with a cutoff. Woo! That's a chunk of copper there.
Okay. Well, that was way longer than I was expecting. Now, I did have 2 camera changes. I had to go to my office and change batteries and deal with a broken machine. But basically, what was that, 50 minutes or something, 51 minutes? So we got 3 5-gallon buckets. And I'm pretty sure a full bucket weighs like 80 pounds. So we might have 70 pounds, 60 pounds, 70 pounds in here. I'm gonna go get something to drink. We're gonna weigh this up, see what we made in the 50 minutes. $63.69, 65, 65.2, 70.1. Okay, here's a little breakdown of what we just did. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say that this was kind of like a complete fail. This took probably twice as long as it should. But this is what we got. We had 198 pounds. Now, it was a little bit more. But when I did the math, it came out to like 666.6, and I wasn't writing that down. 198, copper's way down at like $3.35 a pound for $663.30. That is way lower than what I was expecting to do. Now, we almost had 200 pounds of copper. Now we know that a transformer is about 20% copper. I've done many videos on it, which would have been about 800 pounds of steel. I'm going to round it down to 700 just to be safe. At 9.75 cents a pound, $68.25, for a total of $731.55 we recovered in that 50-minute span that we had all the issues. Now, y'all know that my setup is made for like 2 or 3 people. One person prepping the first press and the second press. Now, with all the problems, I think we were, what, 35 minutes or something? Almost 40 minutes on that first operation. Which literally, the second operation took like 10 minutes, 15 minutes or something. The first operation should have taken 25 minutes, if that. You know, we were way down. Now, so that's 731 in 50 minutes, or let's just say an hour. That could have been twice as much as that. Easily twice as much as that, if I didn't break the press, for one, and we didn't have a bunch of problematic transformers. Now, I've actually run across whole batches of transformers that were like a nightmare. Oh man, we're leaking oil here. Whoops. I always got to retract this thing back because it'll sit here and leak if not. Anyway, I've actually come across batches where you'll have like 20 or 30 of the same exact transformer, and they just don't break right. They delaminate, or they're just really tough, like those black plastic ones. They were probably some of the hardest. This red light is staying on. You gotta be careful. If that stays on, that coil gets super hot. I went away one time for the weekend. I came back and that thing was on for I don't even know how many days. Anyway, right out the gate, I knew them 1,000-watt transformers were going to be tough with the plastic. They always are, okay? Normally, on the second press, though, this was probably the first time I struggled that much on the first press with those. Usually a 1,000-watt transformer, they're hard, but this press usually knocks them out. The fact that this thing was binding and moving around and doing all kinds of weird things, it didn't like it. Now this, it's interesting that this happened because, as you can see, there's like notches taken out over here, right? That's where, when this was tightened on there, I took a punch and I beat the thread so that that bolt wouldn't come out. At some point, we lost the nut. I don't know. But with a broken thing and a broken thing, she still cracked a bunch of transformers and produced $700 an hour, or recovered $700 an hour. What we actually made was, you know, I paid, man, I think I paid 250 bucks for all these transformers. Maybe a little bit more, I don't remember. It was under 300 bucks. It's getting kind of late. I don't feel like welding this up, and I'm not going to continue to run this in this condition. We need to pull this out, fix that. We need to, I might be able to just put a clamp on that and squeeze it and then weld it back in place. As you can see, all the patches that this thing has, like all these welds, all that, this is all from this thing breaking in the middle of the night and me just slapping it back together real quick, because usually I got people standing around. So I'm not surprised that we had this much issues. It's been a long time since I actually had to do some repairs on this, but now that I have to get in there and weld that, I'm gonna weld another half a ring to keep that thing from, because that thing was all over the place. This thing was all wonky and moving around, and you know, basically what I need to do with this press is remake this piece right here with a brand new one, because the core of that is still the original Harbor Freight steel, which was crap and was constantly breaking. That's why I welded tabs, I welded these plates. It just patch after patch. What I need to do is get a big piece of steel in there and actually make it like my press over there. Well, removable jigs, because this press, since this stuff has slowed down so much, and I'm really kicking myself in the butt for welding this solid, because now we are limited on our up and down. But here's the plan with this. Eventually the stator wrecking machine is going to be mounted over here. I haven't decided if I'm going to put it this way or turn it and have it that way. I mean, the way it's supposed to be run, I'll put a 4x8 sheet of plate here, and it'll sit like over here. This will actually hang off like a foot, so it'll be like over here. We can split or crack or whatever first operation we need to do, and then push it over to this. And this is what I plan on doing, making some type of apparatus, like a either it's going to slide out or swing out, but it'll have the puller. This will be the puller. We'll get rid of this. We'll put a V in here. This just pops out of here, so we just make another pop in with a V, and we can pretty much do most of the big motors. Maybe not the super big ones, but we should be able to use this to pull the copper out and then have two machines. Ultimately there's going to be three, but right now, if I don't have to keep breaking down from the split into the pulling and just have this dedicated to pulling, because I mean, I don't really do that many transformers anymore. Literally every month they're getting less and less. So we need to start working on electric motors and generators. I haven't come across a generator yet that is not copper. So we're going to focus on that and see how we can't bring in some more electric motors in here and AC compressors and whatnot. And then we're just going to kind of modify this equipment to pull copper. I mean, I'm hoping that I can even, you know, keep utilizing this. This is going to get turned sideways. I'm not sure how we can utilize it or what we're going to do with it as it, you know, as it comes to like electric motors and stuff and stators. But it's always good to have a little press where you can punch stuff out, you know. This equipment's definitely been ridden hard and put up wet. You're talking about, I built this thing 13 years ago, and the original one had this little tiny ram, which I actually like this ram here because it moves twice as fast as this, but it doesn't have the power of this ram. I originally wanted like a valve up here where I could just run one or the other really fast, or get a double acting pump where it's either running one ram or the other. We still might do that, I don't know. But you seen the other day I broke the record. I did more than 7 a minute punching them out. This ram moves twice as fast. So we could possibly do 10, 11, 12 a minute, 13 a minute. I don't know, man. It's crazy to think about. That's dangerous actually, how fast that moves. But So if you come this far, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We're going to repair that and see if we can't get a little better production out of that copper aluminum transformers. You know, if we don't have any issues with the machine and we can maintain our 3 a minute, we can probably knock that out in about 30 minutes. But once I get in a groove, you know, you average between 3 and 5 a minute, really. Maybe I'm just rusty because I ain't been doing transformers you know, like I used to. Or like I said, the machines might be mad I don't play with them anymore. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard. Dancing. You ever seen your copper dance before? Primary and secondary, 110, 115. This might have came off the motor. This is our wires coming in. We got 4 wires coming in, so we know we have 3-phase. And then just all this stuff, man. This is incredible. Whoever wired this, I love the attention to detail. Like someone spent some time wiring this up, man. And I've seen lathes in the past where they didn't have none of this stuff. They just had like a motor with a pulley and just a manual gearbox. I'm not sure what all this, why it has so many, like, these are relay switches, I guess.